Hello, and welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? A podcast where two sisters share uplifting conversations on fun and sometimes serious topics.
Join us each week by clicking the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. If you enjoy the show, use the share link. It's one of the best ways to expand the conversation.
Welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What am I thinking? Thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to start our talk today with some Real Housewives stuff. Let's start with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So we are partway through the new season. We have one new player, Diana, but the season has been centered around an unlikely housewife, and that's Crystal and Sutton. So they have this dynamic. If you watched it last season, it started out with the conversation in the kitchen when they were in Aspen, and Crystal did the
"Are you that girl? Tell me you're that girl."
Thank you. No, you're not that girl. You're not that girl, are you? Okay, so remember that phrase. You're not that girl, are you? The I don't see color girl. Okay, and then they had a few other awkward moments with Sutton walking into Crystal's room where she was dressing and seeing her.
I don't know what you're doing in here, but I'm just bringing it. I don't know what you're doing in here.
Yes, exactly. And then they had the awkward attempts at trying to make up and people being called weird. And
you're just jealous of what?
Those ugly pants. Right. So to say they had a rocky relationship last season is an understatement.
Absolutely.
So let's start this season with the two of them kikiing at I think that were at Crystal's place because she was doing construction in her basement, and Sutton comes over, and wow, you would think that they were besties from the jump. But this is the Real Housewives, people, so it doesn't last long. Crystal actually ends up kind of throwing Sutton under the bus, so Crystal has this kind of breakdown when the group is kind of confronting Sutton for not being empathetic related to the break-in that Dorit suffered and the gun and all the stuff she went through. She said she was...
Can we just unpack that for a moment?
Yes, go ahead.
Because, one thing that I do have a problem with is when people try to tell you how to think or how to feel. Granted, Sutton, she is awkward in how she responds and reacts to things that she has not had time to process. And it was kind of bizarre watching it. But to be made to feel like she didn't have any feeling about what happened, how can I say that she did or didn't? I don't know what's going on in her mind. Was she inappropriate in the things that she said at that moment? 100%
right.
Yes. But to attack her in the way that they did, saying, you didn't care, or I felt that they were wrong.
I would agree with you more if she hadn't made the "I didn't have a gun put to my head" comment.
But
to me, that comment was, regardless of what else is going on in your world and whatever, that was more flippant, and to me it kind of reeks of you're not caring. It reeks of that when you say, if she would have said, I've got a whole lot of pressures going on in my life, it may not be comparable to what she's going through, but for me, it's a lot.
But I guess, and again, I'm not giving her a pass for that statement, but to hear her backstory about the family having someone to come in, and I see your facial expression here. I'm just saying, Diana, she is the one that put it best about Sutton and
her words.
And her words.
Yeah.
She is clumsy. She is. I don't think that she's not quick-witted. She's not able to process information in the moment. She very quickly becomes flustered so I just feel that
you're giving her more of a pass than I'm willing to give, because the same Sutton can snap, as we saw.
Very much.
And so I'm like,
but again, that goes to me saying she's not a person able to process emotions in the moment. She does not know how to reflect on what she's about to say before she says it.
So I say the prescription for her is that she is a privileged woman,
yes,
who has not had to be mindful of or tactful
100%.
in her communications.
100%.
Hence, that's what you get.
Right.
She has been able to say what she wants when she wants and not care what anyone else thinks or feels about it. She's been able to be self-focused.
Yes.
And that's what you get.
And shut things down that
she doesn't like.
Right.
So that's what I see more so than anything. And her giving the backstory of her father's suicide and of the robbery is her trying to deflect from the fact that she wasn't having a caring moment for Dorit. She was self-focused. I won't even say she wasn't having a caring moment for Dorit. She was absorbed in her own stuff.
So
that's where I'll leave it.
So you know that when you invite a friend into your friend group, you're inviting that friend. Who they are, the whole package.
But sometimes you got to peel it back before you really know, which we know for you and I, we don't just call somebody a friend.
No.
And so a lot of them really are just acquaintances.
They're castmates. Is basically.
That's more so that's even better. They're castmates. So there are a few of them that are friends, but not all of them are friends. And so I think that's what you get. So that was that awkwardness. They were having that conversation. And then Crystal has a moment where she starts to say, like, the whole thing, basically the same thing you're saying about you can't tell someone how they feel or whatever, which that is very true, because that was the whole thing, that they didn't just say her response was inappropriate. They went beyond that and tried to make it about her being uncaring and unfeeling. It's like, no, you're not in her feelings. You don't know that part. So when it comes to Crystal then takes it a step further and begins to share about how it was for her last year, and basically that she never really fully processed or got over them telling her that violation was too strong of a word. And so it gets kind of where she says she's not safe, and she has this big exit moment. So she exits. Then the next day, well, they break it down and try to, process it. And then they go a little further the next day to have her over so they can kind of talk it through and try to really validate her and understand what was going on. And they seemingly successfully did that when Garcelle says, well, if this is the moment where we're trying to take care of unresolved stuff and we don't want stuff to be lingering out for a year, then Crystal, I have to tell you that I think when you said, are you that girl to Sutton, regardless of what she responded, that was going to be your response. She felt like it was a setup. And Crystal is taken aback. And instead of her finding a way to express what that moment was really about for her, to me, she takes the opportunity to throw Sutton under the bus by saying that Sutton said some other things that were not shared that were really dark. So here we go with another strong word. And this has a whole domino effect. And I don't know if you caught this, but I thought it was kind of funny to me when they are at Sutton's event, the very event that she was trying to plan for after Dorit's tragedy of the robbery. And Kyle and Garcelle are trying to talk to her about what happened with Crystal. And she is not moved by it. She just wants to be on. And like Kyle said, what medication did she take?
Sutton.
Dorit. Sutton. Sutton was just like,
yeah.
And we know last year, as Kyle said, she was rolling her face to stay calm over minor stuff.
Yeah.
So the unsaid thing that Crystal is insinuating is that she's racist. Doesn't take, and guess who's the person who drops that word is her favorite person, Erica, drops that word. But so they have another conversation about it, and Sutton is on that I want to put it in the past. It's in the past. We don't have to revisit it. But you can't leave that just hanging out there in this type of friend group. And as Garcelle said, and I'm wondering if Crystal was very aware of this, that with Garcelle being a person of color, she wants to know if there's some twisted, evil, racist things by this person that she has buddied up with. So that's a lot to ask her to just forget about it, right?
What she did to me, and the fact that she said that it was a dark comment, to me, it made zero sense. Because whatever occurred, if you're saying you've moved past it, then whatever she said that was dark or you thought was dark, now you've had the opportunity to get to know this person.
Right.
So you know, well, what my perception was, I was wrong. She didn't say that.
No.
So then what that says to me is, so you're buddying up with someone that has said dark things. They haven't taken these dark things back, and you're okay with it. Okay, so if you're okay with it, why are you bringing it up now?
And as she said, she basically was saying about she's saving herself. She that's the weapon she had to use to, like she said, if somebody's accused of murder, just saying I didn't do it is not enough. You got to say I didn't do it, and here's my alibi.
That's a that's a diabolical person.
Hey, and she laid it out, because when she said that, I'm like, so you're about yourself at any cost.
Absolutely.
That's what that told me, and I'm like, the fact that she said that, I'm like, so, with the whole thing with the emperor with no clothes on, you're saying, I don't have any clothes on and I'm good with it.
Right.
That's who I am.
Right.
And so as everything progresses and they have, I didn't feel sorry for her with the tears, because I'm like,
I felt they were contrived.
You set all this in motion.
Yeah.
And
who is she tearing up the most for?
Erica. And she even said, I know that Erica's motives are not all, but she's right in what she's saying, blah, blah, blah.
But it's like in that moment,
right?
I'm quite sure, as diabolical as she is, she knew then.
Yeah.
She wasn't with, what's her name? The one whose mom just died. I'm at a loss.
Lisa Rinna.
She wasn't with Rinna. She wasn't with Diana.
Right.
She needed to be with the person that was going to mop up and take in her tears, that would be on her side.
Right.
This Crystal person, she is somebody to keep your eye on for the rest of this season. I'm just
wondering how, if she's going to be back for a third season. because she's not looking
How
good.
did you
in
feel
this.
about in her confessional when she did talk about the girlfriends and how people don't really know what happened? Why would she bring this up if she knows what they're talking about?
Right. Because the thing is, obviously something did happen.
Something
You
happened.
gave credence that something happened.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know how you didn't take the time to truly defend it, but you acknowledged it.
Right.
So
we know something did happen.
So we
Whatever
know
these
something
rumors
did happen.
are,
Right.
something did happen.
Right. So she's in this position of, she has one group of girls who feels like, give her a break. She says she's sorry, whatever. And then you have another group that's saying it's like she intentionally tried to throw Sutton under the bus and make her appear as a racist, which is, that's a big deal. So, and then she's not done, because she goes on Watch What Happens Live and says, oh, that comment wasn't the comment. There was more that wasn't shown.
Again, okay.
And so her with that, shortly after her appearance, Kyle is on, and Andy asked her, so what do you think about what Crystal said? And she was like, I've been on this show for 12 seasons. If there was something more, they would have showed it. She said what she didn't count on was that they would show the clip of what did happen. She said that's what she wasn't counting on. And now that they did the flashback of the actual conversation, she does have to say there was something more. In the moment on the show, when they said, is that it? If there was more, why wouldn't you? That was your opportune time to say that there was more.
Right. Or just say, no, I wasn't referring to that.
Whatever, right.
Yeah.
So it's you can't, how can I believe you at this point?
Yeah.
Because Sutton did not do anything to mask her upset. Once she got upset, now at her little thing, she was playing it nice, but once she got upset, she was upset, said not nice things to you, and you took it all. Your defense would have been what the real dark thing was if that wasn't it.
Right.
So there we are with her. Diana gets kind of wrapped up in it, and her and Sutton have a moment, which I'm not sure if they're going to necessarily come back from that, because Diana seems like she has a long memory. And like she said, she gives you, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on her. And I don't think she wants no shame on her. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. If Crystal's able to recover, what's going to happen once Kathy gets in the mix, which we already know that is a mess. She's got her own stuff to deal with. So I don't think she's necessarily going to be able to save Crystal. So it'll just be interesting to see how everything plays out. So keep watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and keep listening to W.A.I.T channel. What am I thinking?